इसी के साथ लाइव करना। Hello everyone. So we completed in the previous class our topic of agricultural marketing, right? And today we are going to start the new chapter of economics of animal rearing, right? So let us go for this chapter. Economics of animal rearing. We can also say the economics of animal husbandry. Same thing. Rear means you are looking after something. Animal rearing. So you rear animals. So we need to study. This is a not that much significant part of your syllabus, but so far as I remember, one time UPSC put up a question about this topic, and most probably in 2015 men's paper. But it is having relevance with agriculture, relevance with farmers' income, and I think in 2022 men's paper there was a question about integrated farming system. And for the creation of integrated farming system, animal husbandry is important because in IFS you do some supplementary activities with the main activity of agriculture. So you go for fishing, you go for animal husbandry, beekeeping, apart from your main activity of doing agriculture. UPSC put up a question: what is the role of integrated farming system in the livelihood of these small and marginal farmers? Right? Such type of question was there. And if we study the Dalwai committee report, then he is also writing. Dalwai sir is also writing that animal husbandry or animal rearing is to be promoted, and we should promote under integrated farming system to double farmers' income. From environment perspective, also for poor's perspective, those people who are having less income for their life, this animal husbandry or animal rearing is important for rural development, for employment purpose, for women empowerment. So from different angles, this chapter is quite important. Otherwise, from the syllabus point of view, it is there, so we need to do it. The economics of animal rearing. So in economics of animal rearing, basically you have to study what? Economic significance, a kind of economic significance. So you have to study economic significance. It is not particular about India. Like overall, we need to study economic significance of animal rearing, but we will be having references to our country, right? Because it is a part of Indian economy. Economic significance of animal rearing. So you can write introduction first of all. The activity of animal rearing is quite important for underdeveloped as well as developing countries. Including India. It plays an important role in areas like rural development, employment, social justice, empowerment, etc. This is a kind of introduction, and these points we will be exploring, these and many more others we will be exploring in this chapter, right? This is merely a kind of intro, right? So now next heading is after introduction, economic significance of animal rearing. And we can relate it with our country. So economic significance of animal rearing in India. First point is what? It ensures like what? Integrated rural development. Why? Is closely associated with agriculture. India being a country of less resources, if we see our population, if you not relate the population, then we are quite a large country and we are having amplitude of resources. But if you look at the rising population of our country, we are having shortage. And if you are having shortage, then you should go for integrated development. And waste of one area should become input of another area. Like that. So any product or byproduct should be used in another area. This will make integration among two sectors. So you know very well that agriculture and animal husbandry, they help each other because they are closely associated. You can say that through agriculture we are able to get fodder, animal feed fodder. We also get husk. Husk means like bhusi, agricultural residues. तो खेती से हमें चारा मिलता है, फोडर मिलता है, खेती से हमें भूसी मिलती है. These items can be used by animals, and animals can also support agriculture. How? Because animals can give you drought power. Drought power का मतलब माल को ढोने की पावर है, उसको animals ensure कर सकते हैं. Animals can also give a kind of fertilizer, cow dung, which is called manure. Manure देता है पशुपालन खेती को. एक दूसरे से exchange relation. If agriculture goes up, animal husbandry will also move up the ladder, and vice versa. So this kind of development you can call integrated development. And since these activities mostly take place in rural areas, we are telling about this word integrated rural development, right? This is one thing, one important side. Second, it helps in the IFS. So what is this IFS? The integrated farming system. And this becomes quite important for small and marginal farmers, for livelihood. This can also play a good role in doubling farmers' income, right? And UPSC put up a question 2 times regarding integrated farming system, where what is the point? Under it, agriculture and other activities are run in an integrated manner. Simple farming cannot double farmers' income. When we say doubling farmers' income, what is exactly the meaning? What is the meaning of it? Farmers' income, not income from farm. So meaning is what? Income to the farmers. Not income from the farm. I'm trying to analyze before you what is the meaning of this sentence. Income to the farmers, not income from the farm alone. You can write like this. This means that farmers can get income from farm plus other activities. In countries like India, where farmlands are quite smaller, if you remember my class of land reforms given to you, I made you write somewhere that not less than 86% farmlands in our country are small and marginal farmlands, right? And around 138 million farmlands we are having, out of which 86% farmlands approximately are of this category, small and marginal. So size is quite less, and you cannot expect doubling of farmers' income from that alone. So when we say doubling farmers' income, we want to say that we are basically interested in income of the farmer or income to the farmer, whether it comes from farm or it comes from other sources. But the Dalwai committee says that without other activities being done by farmers, we cannot imagine about doubling farmers' income, right? So from that point of view, animal husbandry seems to be quite handy for our rustic people or rural people. You can understand like that, friends. So it helps in the IFS. This was the second point, and let us come to write about point number 3. Helps in what? ZBNS. ZBNS. This word is also gaining quite popularity in our country, and there is no doubt about this being asked by the UPSC in future in the form of a question. ZBNF. So what is the full form of it? Zero budget natural farming. Zero budget natural farming. So there are two words here: zero budget and natural farming. Though both are associated with each other, if you go natural, your budget will be lower and lower. Both are associated. Still, you need to make a kind of difference. Coming to this one, zero budget. What does it mean? Here, budget word indicating cost, public expenditure, limit to the color. Taking a routine example of our life, a person is planning, for example, to purchase a smartphone. So he enters into a shop with the intention of buying a smartphone. So a salesman comes and asks him, what do you want? He says, I want a smartphone. The next question which we can expect from the salesman's mouth is going to be what is your budget? What is your budget? Means what is your limit of expense? What is your budget? So you can understand through that. Budget in general shows you a kind of limit regarding expense, right? Limit regarding a kind of cost which you want to incur. Understanding that meaning, now you are writing zero word as an adjective before it. So you are telling that zero cost type of natural farming. You want to say like that. So animal husbandry helps in this also, in that also, right? Natural organic type of farming. So you can get inputs from animal rearing. You can get draught animal from animal rearing. You can get manure from animal rearing. So you are not to purchase fertilizers and other items, tractor, equipments from the market. So your cost is nothing here, and you can go for cultivation. And let me tell you one extra thing in your class, that one of the reasons for large scale suicides by farmers is what? Because of their purchasing inputs from the market. So when they go into the market, they have to purchase inputs like fertilizers, pesticides, even seeds. They are to take harvester and other equipments on rent basis. So everywhere they are incurring cost. And when they harvest their product, and if they do not get good price, so they come under debt and they commit suicide. So how to reduce the cost? And one more I want to say you, if anybody wants to increase income, particularly a kind of producer, farmer is a kind of producer. If anybody is telling that farmer should get higher price, it's okay, high prices may lead to increase in farm income, but do not forget about another aspect of how to increase profits. That aspect belongs to cost. Suppose price remains as it is, and this is the cost, the gap is like what? Profit. Now price, you should maintain at its present level and reduce the cost. By reducing the cost also, you can increase income. And therefore, friends, if you see welfare of our country, if anybody is reducing cost, no person in the world can doubt that it is welfare increasing step. But when you increase profits by increasing price, it may be welfare of a particular person, or it may be a welfare of a category of people like farmers, but it cannot be the welfare of our country, because higher prices are negative points for consumers. So it's better that we should work on cost. And in my view, competition leads to more work on cost cuttings or efficiency in cost. In competition, people are not able to increase price, but in competition, they can do one thing, that they can reduce the cost. Therefore, in economics, everybody suggests that we should go for competition. We should go for competition. It is a regulator without salary. You are not to give salary to this regulator, because competition is a kind of force which automatically brings people on the track. But here, we are reducing cost not because competition is there. We are reducing cost because there is not big scope of increasing price, because agricultural market is not like that, which can ensure good price. But you can reduce the cost, right? And through that you can increase your profit. So from that point of view, animal rearing is good activity, because it leads farmers in the direction of this zero budget. So zero budget natural farming type of goal can also be achieved by this, right? Point number 3. Point number 4. It helps in reduction oblique removal of what? Disguised unemployment. In rural areas. And I taught you these kinds of, this kind of unemployment, and that is underemployment, right? In disguised unemployment, people work without any marginal productivity, or zero marginal productivity, or negative marginal productivity. All things are there in your notes. I taught you how to infer about zero marginal productivity, how to infer about negative marginal productivity. But people are working without any use, you can say. And why they do this? Though they are not knowing perfect mathematics, which we have done in our class of unemployment when I taught you that chapter. I gave a mathematical type of presentation to give you the idea about what do we mean by zero marginal product and what do we mean by negative marginal product. If you remember that class and example, that perfectness is not in routine life of rural people. They cannot do mathematics like we did in our class. But one thing they know through common sense, that if farm field is quite less and more than required people are working, they will be automatically feeling that why we are working here. Such number of people is not required here. They will be feeling through their common sense. As soon as they will be feeling it, they will become again depressed. They would think, but what we can do? We are not having alternative employment opportunities. So even if we know that we are excessive in number here, but we are not having any option, so they will continue to engage in that same agricultural activity, because they are not having alternative. I am repeatedly speaking in our class, alternative employment opportunities. But if animal rearing is promoted by our government, then these people can shift themselves into that activity. And for this also I made a diagram. If you remember, 2 panel diagram I made. In one side I showed agriculture, in the other I showed you animal husbandry. Some people I took from this side and put them into the activity of animal husbandry, and I showed in the class how this shifting will not only remove disguised unemployment, but it will also maximize or increase the total output in a rural area. So additional activity, animal husbandry is additional activity. So some people will go into that activity. The disguised unemployment problem will reduce or will get removed completely if we promote. And I think in 2015 men's examination, there was a question regarding role of animal husbandry or animal rearing in rural employment like that. I'm not able to perfectly remember the perfect designing of that question. This is one thing. Underemployment occurs in 2 cases, either of the 2 cases, right? And in underemployment, what happens? People do not get employment for enough time. So employment is not for enough time. Or employment is not according to qualification. Employment is not as per qualification. Or and you can write either one of the conditions is taking place or both are taking place. You would say that situation is of underemployment. In rural areas, qualification is not a big problem because some exceptions may be there. Otherwise, rural people are not having big qualifications. But therefore, this is not the issue in our country. This is the issue. Rural people are free because they wake up not like us. They wake up early in the morning, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. They go on farm fields very early in the morning. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, they return from the farm field, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, like that. The farm work is over. Then what is the next activity? They are free. So they sit on the stools, chairs of a tea shop, or they sit under the banyan tree and they talk politics of the village, politics of the country, and politics of neighborhood, right? So they are involved in such activities, unnecessary type of activities. And if you happen to belong to a rural area and you are preparing for UPSC, and in festival times you went to your village, return to your village, they are asking you when you pass through such places, they are asking you, hello gentlemen, when did you come? And can you please tell how many years you will continue to do preparation? We are waiting for you to become, a district collector. We are having a list over for you. In fact, they are not having any list, but they are trying to legitimize why they are asking you that in how many years your preparation will be complete, because they are waiting for your failure, right? But you are the person who are not withdrawing from the field. Then they will be asking you, who is your maternal uncle, and different relations. Oh, he's your maternal uncle, I know him, like that. So they are free people. So underemployment is there. So why to make them free? Give them some animals, they will be busy. This way you can remove the problem of underemployment by animal husbandry, right? So this is one thing. Fifth, it has a good role for the livelihood of the landless people in the rural areas. It is having good role for small marginal farmers, but it is also having good role in the livelihood of those people who are landless. So landless people in rural areas are not having enough money so that they can purchase land, but they can rear such animals as goats and sheep, like that. So such animals can support them in their livelihood. So it provides livelihood security also to rural men, women, like that. Next, sixth, ensures social justice. Why? Livestock distribution is more favorable as compared to land. Let us confirm this by a research. In 2003, marginal farmers were contributing around 48% in rural household. Marginal farmers, families or households were contributing 48% in the total number of rural households. But land distribution, cattle, ruminants, or we may write like small animals like goats, sheep, they were having 24% of land, around 50% of cattle, and 67% of small animals like goats, sheep, etc. If you look at these figures, right, their contribution in population was 48%, but in land they were having only 24%. But in cattle distribution and small animal distribution like goats and sheep, they are having higher proportion. So you can say that animal rearing or husbandry is good for social justice point of view towards downtrodden people. Due to anything, if they are having more assets and more income, we would say that we are moving towards the direction of social justice. So their allocation is favorable for poor. So animal husbandry supports the idea of social justice. You have to say like this. So it is good from that point of view. And social justice, why? Livestock distribution is more favorable to poor as compared to land. We took this year, and in this year, marginal farmers were contributing 48% rural households, while they were having land, 24% land only, but 50% cattle and 67% small animals. Right. So this is point number 6. Right. Point number 7. Helps in women empowerment. How we can say favorable for women, and through this you can do what? Care economy can be translated into monetized economy. In animal rearing, you care animals, and in these activities of care, females are more suitable as compared to males. I have seen many villages, male villages, who use a long stick and they often beat animals, right? So animal is terrorized, right? In such a case, how animal can give you the productivity? A cow cannot give enough milk, and other activities cannot be better performed by animals if you showing them a big stick. This is not how anybody is to behave with animals. Plus, animals do not speak and they cannot express time to time about what is their need. If animals are hungry, they cannot say that give me food or fodder, I'm hungry. If they are having stomach ache, they cannot indicate that I'm having pain in my stomach. If they are thirsty, how to indicate that they are thirsty? But females are expert in apprehending such type of things, because when a new baby is born to a lady, for 1-2 years, like what the child is not speaking that good, but she is to infer what is the need of the child. She develops a kind of intuitive knowledge, and from that point of view, she can better look after animals. So economic empowerment will take place, and their care type of expertise will take the shape of money. The care economy will translate into monetized economy. Apart from that, they are not to explicitly show that they need employment. As I taught you in my classes of unemployment, that in unemployment you will include only those people who are searching the job. But at the time I said you that many times people do not go for searching the job. They remain restricted to their house only. They need a job, but they do not express it. And many more women work like that. They are not to go outside to search for job. But if you provide employment at their household level, so animal husbandry is a kind of employment at the household level. So automatically translation will take place of care economy into monetized economy. And you might have seen 2023 men's paper. There was a question about this care economy and monetized economy, and over and above that, they clearly said that how women empowerment can do that, and what I'm teaching right now. So don't think that, oh, this chapter is of animal husbandry and what's the need of studying it. Every chapter in your syllabus is hugely important, and it may have relevance at various levels about which you might have never imagined. It helps in getting cash income. For poor, right? You may be quite wealthy as person. You may have accumulated a huge amount of land, building, so-called property. You may have various physical type of resources and all. But cash income is different thing. Liquidity is different thing. And I have seen many more people who are having big wealth background, but they are not having cash income, right? They are not having cash income. One person of my acquaintance said that his in-laws are wealthier people. They are having good bungalow somewhere in Patna, and very big bungalow, but they are not having cash income. He has a relative sends cash income to their family because he's a teacher in coaching area, and he earns income, and a part of that he sends. So many times we are not able to sell our house because it is a big building. A part of that cannot be sold by us many times. So social issues are also there. But what I mean to say you is the point that cash is different thing, wealth is different thing. Now, if you see agriculture, agricultural crops are not harvested every day, so you cannot get everyday cash income from agriculture. But cows, buffaloes, goats can give you everyday milk, which you can sell in the market, and routinely you can get cash income every day, right? And goats are which kind of animals? You can withdraw milk anytime from the goat, anytime. Cows, buffaloes, they are having some timing, like in the morning, in the evening, anytime they cannot give you milk, but goats can give you anytime. So in the case of chikungunya, in the case of dengue, goat milk sell for very high price. So a person even in the daytime can withdraw milk. 1 liter can sell in the market, can get to be 700, 800, 1000 even for 1 liter of goat milk. And Mahatma Gandhi was quite, he would use this goat milk. And one of my fellow teacher who did his PhD from JNU, MPhil from JNU, said me once in the history subject he did that. He said me once that, sir, I studied that Gandhiji took a goat with him when he went to South Africa, like that. It was quite surprising fact for me as he shared this thing. So it helps in cash income, right? Ninth benefit is what? Protects during crop failure. This concerns like an insurance. Insurance is nothing but protection against a particular type of risk. So crop failure is a routine thing in our country. Agriculture being rain fed, most of the agriculture in our country is rain fed. Around 60% agriculture depends upon rain for water purpose. So when rain in our country is not regular, right, irregular type of rain we see. So crop failure is something like ambat. And during crop failure, if you are having animals, you can sell them. Right? So this way you can understand. And strength, it is a store of capital. Animals are a kind of store of capital, livestock, and more animals you are having, more is the capital. And if you remember my class of GDP, in GDP I taught you GFCF, gross fixed capital formation. If you remember, I made you write 5 items under it: first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Somewhere here I wrote cultivated biological resources like livestock. So more and more livestock means more and more fixed capital formation in the country, and at the personal level, more and more value you are having. You can disinvest your animals. Disinvestment means you can sell your animal and can get money. This is a kind of disinvestment. It is a store of capital. And finally, you should write health improvement for what? Poor. And poor can get protein and other nutrients. Poor can get protein and other nutrients from animal rearing. In my view, if anybody is to get good health, there is a role of income. There is the role of knowledge about what is to be eaten, what is not to be eaten. Knowledge, income and knowledge will ensure health. But interestingly, poor are not having income as well as knowledge. But there is a direct way through which they can achieve this goal of health. And that direct way is given by animal husbandry sort of thing. You can say it is animal rearing, which can directly lead to health, even if you don't have income. Either you are having knowledge about how to dispose that income into different nutrient items, right? So in the villages, people, since animals are available at home, so they can use milk and other products. And the first milk of a cow after the birth of a calf, the first milk is boiled by the people, rural people, and they make a kind of milk cake, which develops a type of coffee color, brownish color. And this cake is quite spongy, and rural children and kids, they eat it with a passion. And they don't know that what is the use of that cake. But I studied in some books that this first milk is quite rich in neural growth factors, and it is quite rich in immunoglobulins, and immunity becomes stronger if you use that milk. So they are not having knowledge, still getting immunity. So that way you can understand how animal husbandry can improve the health profile of the rural people. So these are some important points. If you want to highlight economics of what is the economic argument? Economics means what is the economic argument for engaging in this activity of animal rearing. So I gave you some 10 or 11 points which you can mention in your UPSC mains examination if there is a need. And for every point, they can make a separate question for you. Like we have seen question about integrated farming system 2 times. We have seen question about role of animal rearing in employment in 2015 mains. So they can pick up next time around. They can ask you role of women empowerment, care economy, role of animal husbandry in women empowerment, like that. So they can pick up each and every point out of these and can make a question on that, right? So this way you can understand. Now we are to study about the suggestions, how we can develop this sector of animal rearing or animal husbandry in our country. Suggestions. In 2015, the second part of the question, they asked about the suggestions of development. And there should be sequencing in your suggestions. Which suggestion is first required to be followed, which is second, like that, right? The first suggestion is the breed development, right? Indian breed is not that much good. First suggestion is about breed development. Indian animals are not having good productivity regarding milk and other aspects. And this breed development is to be done through 2 things. One thing, like artificial insemination is one thing which you can adopt. Focus on artificial insemination. And under this area, we need to work at 2 levels. We need trained manpower. Trained manpower to do this. And the second is the infrastructure. Upgraded infrastructure. Like refrigeration. So semen is to be kept in refrigerator. Proper refrigeration facility should be there. And when semen is inserted, at that time you need pregnant pouch. Right? Through artificial insemination, you can go for breed development. Most probably, I think you might have heard about a breed called Murrah breed in buffaloes, like Rathi, Murrah, like these. In buffalo, I'm not talking about cows. In buffalo, we often talk about this Murrah nest. And on one day, I studied in the newspaper that one person in Haryana or somewhere, he was having a male buffalo in the name of Yuvraj. And in one auction, the bidding of Yuvraj reached to the level of rupees 7 crore. Thank you. Yuvraj was nothing but a male buffalo, and his bidding reached to the level of rupees 7 crore. An interesting thing is that his owner didn't sell that male buffalo. Various people in the country is not having that value. People like males and females, they are not having that value that Yuvraj is having that value. I also saw 2 dogs of Russia garlanded when they got to diet. Russian government gave them a kind of honor, and garlands were put around their necks, and the picture of these dogs became viral. And in various newspapers, these dogs appeared, the pictures appeared. So it is quite, motivational sort of thing. Dogs are earning the name there, they are being garlanded. How animal existence has been converted into an existence even superior to human existence. Right? So we need breed development. Very first suggestion should be this one if you want to score good marks. Second is protection against the animal disease. And these diseases are particularly related to mouth and foot. Lumpy and various diseases are there. Animal diseases are mostly related to mouth and foot. They are prone to get infected because they chew grass. They go in the jungle, in jungles, eat different items. So there is a chance that they can get infection. And food is also subject to infection. Why? Because particularly in rainy season, salmon month and like that, we see rains taking place and animals move, and various forks are there. FORK forks are there, which penetrate foot of these animals. Blood comes out, flies fly around these type of infections. They support infections. Water is mixed, so rapid infection takes place, and in the time of a day or two, there is the animal death. So we need to protect animals from various diseases, right? And for this, we can focus on 2 major items. Vaccination is one thing. Another thing is diagnostic facilities. Right? So if you give vaccinations to animals, then antibodies get developed. So hygiene, if animals never follow hygiene, their owners can have hygienic farms, but animals as such do not understand what is this hygiene. But if you have given them vaccination, they develop huge amount of antibodies which can protect them against diseases. And the diagnostic facilities are also required because many times we are not able to infer what is the disease. In diagnostic facilities, you diagnose a kind of disease, and symptomatic treatment in animals becomes quite difficult for doctors. Why? Because animals are not to say anything regarding symptoms. Some major symptoms you can see. Otherwise, the animal is not able to say that I'm having body ache at this place or that place. I'm feeling unwell. Means he is not communicative about this. How to know that what is the disease? So without his speaking, you are able to understand what is the disease. For that, you need to develop diagnostic facilities in our country in a proper manner. Third is focus on more production of good quality fodder. Good quality fodder. So why this is a need in today's India? So most of the animals depend on agricultural residues. Agricultural and other residues. And because of this, what happens? There are 2 impacts: product quality and emission of methane. So product quality suffers due to this, and emission of methane increases. This is presently a big issue regarding this increase in global temperature. Pre-industrial levels, 1850 to 1900 something. What was the pre-industrial level of temperature, average temperature? Our present temperature should at most be higher up to 1.5% degree, 1.5. under 1.5 or up to 1.5, not more than that. There is a concept called carbon budget. And carbon budget means something like this, that you have to emit CO2 etc. only in such a manner that, so scientists have calculated what is the total amount of tons of CO2 which is making carbon budget for this 1.5% degree increase in temperature within that degree, increase in temperature within that degree. And methane gas is having more power to increase global temperature. I studied in one edition of The Economist some 7 days or 10 days back. They were writing that methane gas remains in the atmosphere up to 10 years, right? CO2 remains for quite many years, but methane remains for 10 years. I'm not very much expert regarding this. I studied that. I shared with you. You can confirm from somewhere else. I'm not the authenticated person regarding that, but I studied that this emission of methane leads to higher temperature. And in The Economist or at various places, they have shown that what are the areas where this methane is generated. So apart from various areas, the animal stomach also creates good amount of methane. And India is having largest number of animals in the world. So methane has become a global issue. Methane emitted by our animals has become a global issue. And in COP, Conference of Parties, other countries raised this issue about India's animals. So internationalization of this topic has taken place. Why our animals are using agricultural residues or other residues? We should produce more and more of good quality fodder, right? And according to one data, fodder is cultivated only in 4.6% of cultivable land in our country. And according to Former Planning Commission is not working right now, so we are using the language Former Planning Commission. According to the Former Planning Commission, at least 10% of your cultivable land should be allocated for the cultivation of fodder, but we are allocating only 4.6% part for that. Third focus is on good quality fodder, right? Focus on extension services. Villagers can get latest technology and knowledge. As the name is telling, extension. So you extend the knowledge. And you might have heard about one thing, lab to lab. You develop knowledge, technology in labs, clinics, universities. But what's the use of that until unless you take that knowledge to the grassroots level, that is land. So lab to land program. This expression is quite famous in our country, and you may have also encountered with this while reading some books. So under lab to land program, what we do, we develop knowledge and then we extend that knowledge to the grassroots level. This is to be mainly this service is to be mainly seen by state governments, right? Agriculture, animal husbandry, these are local topics. And they are having manpower, and through this manpower, this knowledge is extended to village level. There are some subordinate officers, there are some superior officers, there is a chain, right, network. Seminars are conducted, and there is the appointment of a government employee at the village level. These are called as Krishi Paryavekshak, Pashu Paryavekshak, like that. And extension service functions in both areas, agriculture as well as animal husbandry. But we have seen that various state governments are not providing proper budget for this manpower. Why? Because they want to reduce their fiscal deficit. So they are removing those expenditures which are politically neutral expenditures. So they are reducing those expenditures which do not harming them politically. Janta, the public is not aware about these things. So they are cutting expenditures of this sort, right? So they have become weak over time. Therefore, today we are suggesting that these services should be made stronger so that latest technology knowledge can be extended to the grassroots level. Villages can be given new knowledge. Fifth. So government expenditure is quite less in animal husbandry area. So we are to write increase in public expenditure in animal rearing. Present expense level is how much? 0.18% of GDP. So it is quite less, and around 4% contribution is by animal husbandry in our GDP. If you see, so 4% contribution animal husbandry is giving in India's GDP, and you are spending only 0.18% of GDP. So there is a need of increasing public expenditures. Ensure triple P model in various services. Various services, like you can say breed development, vaccination, diagnostic facilities, etc. Public-private partnership model you can think about in areas of various services. Breed development, you can use a private sector. In vaccination, you can use private sector. In the development of diagnostic facilities, you can use the private sector. So this is these are some suggestions which can be given by you for the development of this sector, right? So this is suggestions, and now we have to write some important facts. In the important facts, you can write contribution into the total GDP. Around 4.2%. Into the GVA of agriculture. There are two things: 24.3%, 24.3% in 2014-15, and 30.1% in 2020-21. And I taught you GVA and GDP. So sigma GVA, GDP of our country, growth for our country is measured through GDP. But at the activity level, like agriculture as an activity, manufacturing as an activity, we see GVA. Therefore, you make sigma. At activity level, you do not have the concept like GDP. You cannot say that agricultural GDP. It is a kind of agricultural GVA. So what is agricultural GVA? What is manufacturing GVA? You then make sigma. So we are writing GVA here in the present case of our country and the present method of national income calculation. GVA of agriculture. So in agricultural GVA, in that year it was contributing around 24%. Now it is contributing around 30%. So its contribution is increasing. You can say. Third, CAGR 7.9% between 2014-15 to 2020-21. CAGR in this period. What is CAGR? Compound annual growth rate. And you must be knowing about compounding. So in 1 year, first year suppose 100, then 107.9 next year, then 7.9% higher than 107, compounding. That's the thing. The compound annual growth rate is something like that. It is quite high. And what is the total animal population? The fourth is around 536 million is the animal population of our country as per this 20th animal census. Census means the counting, right? So this is about some important facts which we wrote, right? This way this chapter is over, friends, and I am suggesting you one more thing. You are to prepare all government steps of every area which is there in your syllabus. For example, for livestock development, which schemes were launched by the government? So government schemes and programs in every area which is the part of your syllabus, you should collect them. And many times UPSC asks about the government steps for the development of this sector or that sector, and it is quite a clerical and mechanical sort of thing, and through googling and other activities you can accumulate such government steps, right? So friends, this chapter is over. In the next class, let us meet. Thank you very much.